Welcome to Short Tales, and my name is Omar. I work as an architect and I once lived in my hometown with my family. I'm the only child of my parents and I must say it's been a lot and more than a lot having to cope with so much, and that too, being alone. My best friend, Toby. He is like the brother I never had. You might be guessing how and where the story is going, but welcome to my short tale. I'm in my luxurious office one day when I get a call from my boss informing me that my attention was needed on a site and I had to take over the job from the architect working there before. I took the job obviously without any choice, and before I knew it, I was on my way to the site. Looking at the files and the recordings, it was quite impressive. Then I saw the location. I immediately became uncomfortable. It's my hometown. I tried to stay calm and collect my thoughts, which already was scattered all over the place. We get to the location after 5 hours of driving non-stop. I inspect the building and report to my boss via a Zoom call. After about some time, I left to the resort that was reserved for my stay while I was working. I settle in nicely. It was of luxury and most importantly, homey. I get some paperwork done while on my bed before going to bed. The next day, I'm calm as I sit looking at the morning news on my phone while I sip my coffee. I do some yoga, which is specifically recommended by my therapist. It's so relieving and peaceful. While getting ready for work, I play some melodious songs. Fully clothed and well equipped with my work bag, I step out of my room in confidence and looking cold a bit. The driver was awaiting my arrival, and upon my arrival, we left. Looking outside the speeding vehicle, I find it calming as I get lost in the scenery, fast approaching and disappearing so quickly. The work on the site begins and I get to my new temporary office. Delving into the work that was pending from the last architecture and starting the ones that I was originally sent to do. It was exhausting, not going to lie, but it was better than exhausting my time on lying and cheating friends, I thought as my mind flashed back. Toby, what are you doing here? I say, not so loudly, as I look down from my window. With skillfulness, I tie some pieces of bedsheet together so he can climb up to my room. This is crazy, you know that, right? I chuckle and we talk about school and just everything. I love talking to Toby because he is a good listener and he is so good with words. We attended the same school and we loved every bit of it. Although, it was Toby and I from the onset, but later, Emily came into the picture and I noticed she was awfully too close to him, but I never counted it as anything. I felt like I had been with Toby for so long, so I started becoming protective and I didn't want to feel so. In conclusion, I felt she was like that cause they just started being friends. I started disposing this idea a few weeks later. It was clear she was trying to tear Toby and I apart cause she liked him. I told Toby about how I felt about Emily, but he convinced me that it wasn't what I was thinking. I wasn't fully convinced and I got angry that he didn't believe me. For the first time in forever, I didn't talk to Toby the next day and the day after. I was pissed at him. His birthday was coming and I knew I owed him a gift. The day before his birthday, I was to leave town with my parents, so I couldn't go to school, unfortunately. I had to resort to the last person on my list to give him my birthday gift, to him, Emily. I gave it to her in good faith, trusting that it would get to Toby the day after, which is his birthday. Being home was torture, but I had to follow my mum to the supermarket to get the things we needed for the travel. We ran into my dad's friend, Mr. Austin. I didn't like him one bit, and you'd get to know why in a bit. It was night now and my father hasn't showed up. This got my mother angry because we were to leave the house by 7 p.m. and this is 6:50 and my dad's not home yet, and neither was he picking his calls. I was less concerned because I knew it was inevitable for them not to have an argument either on the road or at home. In my room, I'm preparing an apology letter and a birthday wish for Toby to be sent once it's 12 a.m. I'm not the only one that does this. How? As I'm composing and checking up on Emily not to forget to give Toby my gift, I hear a sharp noise. I flinch. This is new, so I go downstairs seeing my parents with a knife in my mother's hand and a small speaker box in my father's hand. I'm so scared that I call out to both of them as they are running around the scattered living room. I try to reach for the landline on the stool closest to me to call the police. I get to the stool and pick the phone. My head becomes instantly heavy and I fall to the ground, unconscious. The last thing I heard was my father calling my name and my mother screaming. I wake up in a hospital bed confused and I try to touch my forehead and there is a bandage there. Luckily the doctor was there and also my parents were there. I frown as they come hypocritically towards me. I tell the doctor to tell them to leave my ward and that I want to be alone. After few hours, I'm told that I had a blood clot in my brain in my head due to the hit. My parents lied that I fell and hit my head. I said nothing. The doctor then said he shaved some section of my hair for the operation. I was not sure of how to feel but didn't panic. I stayed calm and what hurt me most was that the whole time, I didn't get a text from Toby or Emily. Not even one. Weeks later my bandage was removed and I saw that a huge chunk of my hair was off and I was left with a scar on my forehead. I was left alone on my command and I cried my eyes out thinking about everything. The following week, my mom got me a horrible looking wig but I had to wear it that way. They spent so much already so I didn't complain. I barely talked in the house and they noticed. They were always apologizing and what ruined me was that the arguments never stopped. I got back to school and Toby distanced himself completely. I tried talking to Emily but she was always cold and always having a meeting. I felt they didn't want to have anything to do with me because of the scar on my forehead. It broke me. Fortunately, no one knew I had a wig until my hair grew back. At least I was thriving until prom when I saw Toby kissing Emily. It shook my world. I felt like I was losing it all. There and then, I admitted my feelings for Toby and renounced it. I didn't wait till the end and I ran away from there. I was so heartbroken that I didn't attend graduation, like she has always dreamt of going with Toby. As soon as I got into the university, I never went back home because I always blamed my parents for ruining my life. They tried coming to my school to see me but I dodged them every single time. And as for Toby and Emily, I haven't spoken or heard from them till date cause I changed my number and I relocated away. I flushed down the feeling I had feelings for Toby. I stopped showing empathy, sorrow, and other feelings that would present me weak to the world again. That's why I look cold, unapproachable and not so easy to access because I was always so occupied that I didn't even have the time to waste time. I visit the site the next week and I see Mr. Austin. I act so nonchalant about meeting him because I feel he should have been a better friend to my father than he ever was but now, I no longer believe in friendships whatsoever. He sees that I'm paying no further attention to him so he leaves and I continue with my work. The next day, my parents show up and all I had in mind was to get them away from me because I didn't want to see them for any reason. I decide to meet up with them but not at the site, not at my resort, nor my office, nor their house. We fix a meeting and they start apologizing about what they made me go through due to their constant arguments and fighting. I'm not moved at their apology but my mom instantly hugged me out of the blues and whispers, "I'm sorry my dear." My heart and the walls I built around me began melting and I burst into tears. I cried like never before because I was hurt, sad, depressed and I bottled everything inside thinking I could single-handedly beat these feelings but I lied. I missed my parents, their love and care. I felt warmth after a very long period of time. After that day, I found time to visit them at home and memories came rushing. Although, the scar on my forehead is still there, but my mother made a cream which began to magically fade the scar. One fateful day I was almost leaving from my parents' house to my resort after visiting them. Then I met with Toby. I'm utterly shocked at this but I managed to comport myself and before I knew it, he hugged me so tight. I frowned in confusion but a part of me was happy. He later explained everything to me about Emily, about how I was right about her, about how she hid my gift away from him, about the kiss she imposed on him, and how he stopped being friends with her after that day. He pleaded with me to not be angry and that the reason he distanced himself was because he thought I intentionally didn't wish him or gift him despite knowing how much he valued them as they were from me. He sincerely apologized for not being there for me in my trying times and explained that when he didn't see me in the graduation ceremony, he had planned to see me after, but things came up. He also said that when he came to see me, I had already left for school and he checked every time when he was back to see if I'm around, and his resilience finally paid off today. With a smile, we laughed and just for a while. The following month we started dating and currently we are planning our wedding. Both my parents and his parents are also part of the planning and we all are glad. I'm so glad. That's all for today. Goodbye guys. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.